Hi, I'm Karen Newman, and I'm a member of the nominating committee here at Lake of the Woods. With me today is Dave Davies. Welcome, David. And he's going to answer some questions about why he is running as a candidate for the board. So, first off, what motivated you to run for the board?
Well, thank you, Karen. I've been at the lake for 8 years with my wife Gina. We have 2 adult married sons and 1 granddaughter. I've lived in Pennsylvania, Texas, Georgia, California before settling here. I'm a retired school teacher and administrator, currently a consultant who travels across the United States doing board governance training, strategic planning, and executive coaching. We could have retired anywhere in the United States. We didn't really have a home base. And we chose Lake of the Woods because of the community and because of the amenities. I am currently chair of the Lakes Committee and the External Affairs Committee, as well as the Board of Directors of LowLink. And all 3 of those chairmanships are coming to an end at the end of this year. And so I certainly have time to devote to the board. My 2 guide words for my candidacy are accountability and civility. The board is elected by the members and is supposed to represent the members, and we need to be accountable to them. I also think that the community has lost confidence in the board's ability to get along. It should be possible to disagree without being disagreeable, and I hope to make a difference in that.
So, Dave, what homework have you done or do you plan to do in preparation for the board of directors?
I think first and foremost, listening. I've talked to loads and loads of members. I've met one-on-one with former board members, board presidents, just to get their perspective on governance at Low. Since moving here 8 years ago, I've been involved in several committees. I've attended more board of directors meetings than I've missed, and recently I've attended committee meetings of committees in which I'm not involved. I've also read all of our governing documents, as well as the Virginia statutes, the Property Owners Act, and the Non-Stock Corporation Act that govern the association.
So, Dave, the next question deals with your understanding of the board's role in governance and its relationship with the general manager at the lake.
Thank you. Over my career, I served on and chaired several nonprofit boards, and as the headmaster of an independent school, I reported to a board. So I think I understand the roles pretty clearly. The general manager is the only employee of the board. The board does not supervise any other LOA staff. Although the general manager should, and in our case does, know more about running homeowners associations than the board sets the policy, the strategic plan, sets the budget, and evaluates the general manager's performance. The GM's role is to implement the direction of the board. The relationship should be collegial and professional, but it should be clear that the board is in charge and directs the general manager.
Social media has become a powerful influence in our society. And what is your perspective on these platforms, and how can we best leverage it?
Well, social media is here whether we like it or not, and we've already seen the impacts of some of the negative posts about Lake of the Woods. I've had numerous conversations with realtors, and their out-of-town clients have raised some questions about things like the HOA fees, algae blooms, water and sewer, and general disgruntlement. We can't be like the guy who puts his thumb over the check engine light and just drive on. We have to acknowledge this, and we have to respond to the inaccuracies, leverage the positives of the social media, and not be paralyzed by it. I've already interacted offline with some of our biggest critics, correcting some of their misperceptions about things like the golf simulator and all sorts of other fees and budget and so forth. And I think we have to correct errors of fact. So we can't be slaves to social media, but at the same time, we can't ignore it, and we should exploit the positive aspects of it.
What are your ideas to increase participation at Low?
Well, I think we have to acknowledge that the population is different now than it was 25 or 30 years ago. We're no longer a weekend or solely retirement community. We have two-income working families with young and teenage children. Having board and committee meetings in the middle of the day on weekdays precludes engagement by many of our members. The argument that, well, we've tried them in the evening and weekends and nobody came just can't continue to be used. As the chair of the External Affairs Committee, I instituted evening town hall meetings, bringing supervisors, the sheriff, Office of Drinking Water, DEQ, and these have been well attended and have connected the community with external agencies. The board needs to be more connected with members to understand what speaks to them. For example, the 3 referenda that failed to pass last year was a real opportunity missed. And I think what happened was, by bundling those 3 items together, the board managed to find at least one that everybody objected to, and so none of them passed. Lately, the board has made several proposals or taken actions that attempted to minimize member engagement, such as trying to limit the size of committees, collapse or eliminate committees altogether, and that, in my opinion, is a huge mistake. I'm constantly amazed at the expertise that's in our community, and we need to maximize rather than minimize the impact that volunteers and members can make on LOA.
What do you consider the most current and important issues facing the LOA community? And how would you address them?
Sure. I think there are 3. First and foremost, the dysfunctional relationship among the board has to be fixed. Some members can't even talk to one another without anger. Information is not being shared across the board. And if the new board is not more civil with one another, I think a mediator may need to be brought in. Our water and sewage situation is serious. We have aging infrastructure that requires attention and resources. I currently sit on the RSA Board of Members. I'm the only voice from Eastern Orange County and Lake of the Woods. Some have raised concerns about a conflict of interest, and I would counter by saying, if I were required to step down from the RSA board, there is no guarantee that Lake of the Woods would have a representative. It's not like the supervisors where there are districts. And Brian Nickel, even though he's chair of the supervisors, has 1 vote. And so the other supervisors could put in someone from Gordonsville, and then Lake of the Woods would not have a seat at the table at all. Finally, I think growth along the Route 3 corridor is a concern. Traffic, demand on our fragile water supply, property tax hikes would all be possibilities with unconstrained growth. Even possibility of data centers across Route 3. I have great working relationships with the chair of the Orange County Planning Commission and the chair of the Board of Supervisors, and can work to ensure that LOA's interests are considered.
Last question is really, what would you tell us that we haven't already heard about why people should vote for you?
Well, because I'm a great guy. But seriously, I think that my professional experience, clear investment on committees and boards, involvement in the broader community show my willingness to roll up my sleeves and work for the good of the association. I'd welcome the opportunity to answer anyone's questions about my candidacy. I do regret that I will be away and miss the 2 forums, but I'll be here for the August town hall and happy to answer anyone's questions at that point. I would appreciate your consideration and support. Thank you.